Let's see. Well, I don't have to tell you what's up at the top. Anyway, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm going to go ahead and say it's 6 a.m. in the morning. I just woke up about 30 minutes ago. Um, so what's the news? I now I may have mentioned that in the last video. I'm back to having the two monitors set up here. I'm running Manicam. I finally found the link where I could turn off the thing where the screen times out because you haven't touched the keyboard or done anything on the screen. So I finally found that tucked away someplace. If you want to know where it is, I forget where it is. I made the last video I think was, let's see, the last one was, can't remember. Let's go here. And see. Whoops. I gotta put something else here and delete this other one that's tied to the there. Oh, we tried, a few of you with the preview thing where you make a YouTube video, where I make a YouTuber makes a YouTube video. And then when it's done, they call it preview. And, whoops. And then that's where we watch it together, I make the video, and then when I mark it preview, we can watch it together. And then there's a chat thing also. And I kind of like it. I see a real way that it's going to be fun and useful and educational for both of us. I mean, for me and for the rest of you, maybe. There's also a chat thing on it, which is great. There's also the ability to make a donation. And the next time I run this, I'm going to turn off the ability to, right now, the ability to make a donation there in that. Because it's been several people, maybe 4, I think 4, anyway, who have made a donation like each time. And so I'm going to turn that off for now. And then down the road a piece, maybe when I'm really, really happy with my content or something, maybe I'll turn it back on. But for right now, I'm going to leave that off. Now, if you do want to help in making a donation or whatever, you can go to one of my links that takes you to an Amazon item or something like that. And then if you purchase that if you purchase that item, I will get a very, very, 1 to 3%. Almost nothing, but that would go. That's better because you're not. Right now, it's better for me for you to do it that way. I feel better about it. So anyway, in the preview thing, I'm going to leave off the ability to make a donation. Please do watch if you want to. watch the preview videos, you get a notice if you're subscribed and you've clicked the thumbs up or whatever, I believe. So I'm back to the two monitors. Oh, the new thing for the last couple of days, Verizon, well, let me just show you that. Let's go over here to and let's go to, oh, it's down here at the bottom. I can do it. Here it is. Maybe it's not. Let's see. Oh, here it is over here. I will just slide it over here. Here we go. Supposed to be getting 300 down. And for the last 2 days at least, I'm getting about 40 down instead of 300. I haven't contacted them yet. I pushed the reset button. That didn't do any good. And so I'll guess I'll probably contact them today. But I want to make sure I contact a human being. I do not want to go through their, this is, Verizon I'm talking about. I don't want to go through their anywhere, but I want to talk to a real human. I've mentioned in the past why. So I don't need to mention that again, I guess. Now, at that speed, I'm okay uploading something. Darlene's watching nonstop, movies and things on her big screen TV. She then moves to the living room and she has a computer there and she plays a few very simple games. Nothing complicated, like solitary and those kind of things. I mean, really, there's some things where somebody pops up and it's a drawing or whatever, and they give you some clues and you pick out something. And then if you get X number of points or whatever, then you get longer access to the game for that day, and you can play a couple other little games like that pop up. And she refuses. She's not like me. I like to spend money. I like to buy. I don't drink or smoke or anything, but I like to buy computer stuff and other stuff. But that's about it. What was the other thing I wanted to mention? So I need to contact, anyway, that was it, yeah. The speed is okay at 50, but I want the 300 that I've, there's a cell phone that's been, that I'm not using. Is this it? No. There's a Samsung cell phone that the battery is still, but I'm not using that cell phone. Anyway, I hooked up the Samsung the other day. And it's okay. It doesn't have a lot of memory. And it's a nice little laptop, but it doesn't have a lot of power, and it doesn't have a lot of memory. But I really don't use it. But it's nice to have something like that. But I just don't use it. I've had it, and from the very beginning, I don't. What I would like to have is And it's on my wish list. Let's see. How do I even get to the wish list? Oh, it's Amazon. So, okay. By the way, I've shown this before. I just want you to know. Okay, this is a little slow. I'm going to have to call. I guess I'll call them here in a little bit. Well, I forget I think they open about 6 a.m. for their telephone calls or something. Okay. Yeah, usually this stuff pops right on the screen. Okay. Here's a payment history. In case this will be useful to some of you who are thinking of being YouTubers. So here it's with, March of this year. And you have to get above a certain amount. I forget what it is, $50 or something. I forget. Maybe it's $25. Yeah, it must be $25. Anyways, let's start with March. So on March 30th, they deposited $21 to my account. On April, the entire month, I made $6.33, but they don't pay you until you know. So the next month, I made $8.21, and I was up to $14.54. And then the next month, I made $14.95 for the month, and I was above the $25 limit. And so they paid me for June $29.49. And for July, I made $3.63. And for September, I made $17.89. And for the end of September, that came to $21, and so they paid me. And then for month of December, I made 18 cents. Okay. Now, after telling you that, please do try to use you'll find it below or whatever. You'll find it various places. But please do try if you're going to be, even if you're just thinking, hey, I want to go check out something on Amazon. Please use the link. Because let's say you're not planning on buying something, but let's say you want to go to Amazon and look at something. Please try to use my link, because if you go there and you use the link and then you decide, let's get that big screen TV or something, or whatever it is, anything, but if got almost 4,000 subscribers, if you all did that, then that would help out. And that's really the way I would rather get the money, rather than a donation or something. This reminds me. Okay, I switched things around, and so I have a whole bunch of, you've seen the closet filled with cables. I have a whole bunch of cables. Now I have several cables that are DisplayPort, and they give me faster displays and everything. And when I changed monitors, okay, well, this isn't the brand that I got before, I don't think. But some of them I have are 4K, and some are 16K, and I think some of them are 32K, I think. Well, I could just go up here. Let's go to orders. And go to cables. I think I spelled it wrong. I did. Okay, good grief. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. This looks like what I got. I got several of these cables. Okay. Now those are 6 foot. That's actually a bit okay. It could be a little less, but I think I'm going to put these on, 2 of them. Oops, I didn't make, okay. When I go there, I can mark it too. Okay. So, now this looks like also. Okay, there we go. Let's see. No, I want to go to orders. That's it. Okay, I don't need any Ethernet cables right now. I hope I don't. Let's see. My stomach is growling. Can you hear that? Here we are. Okay, here we are. And these are 15 feet. That's more than I need, but, and I hate to have, but they worked great. In fact, because I was, let me go down here and mark this. By the way, you see that I can order this and I can have it today. I don't have the money to do that. Not today or tomorrow. So, oh, that's right. With these, I hooked up a couple monitors, and with regular networking cables, what I was hooking up, the way I was hooking it up, it would not. Let's go to my list, by the way, and look at this list. Where is it? View orders, let's see. No, not view orders. I want to view, add to list. No, I want to see the list. Okay, why is that not showing up here? Oh, I have to do search. That's it. Not earnings. View order, not that. Okay, come on. Why is add to list? Maybe I can just go to list. Let's see. Create list. Add to list. Oh, that with it for right now. Oh, it's up here someplace. Oh, here it is. It's too early for me. Let's see. Gift list for Jim Howard. Okay. I'd like to have these cables. And, either one of, I need two of them. Now here's something else I would like to have. An Apple iPad, and I could give up the agony of of Windows and all that type of stuff. Actually, it's been a good run, and over the computers over my years of having them have been really fun, and had a lot of fun. Tracked Earth satellites. Just did a radio program. Did all just it's been. But now, I think I'd like to go to an Apple iPad, and that's one on the screen there. Oh, you can't see it. Is I think the way I'd like to go. Oh, by the way, a friend just sent me these, saw it on my list. It's a really good. Where's the big one? Oh, the big one's up there, but I'm not gonna. Let's see. Here it is. There's the camera, yeah. And you can see it on the screen. I haven't opened this up yet. Got two of them, and a friend sent them to me off of my wish list. Except, it has a Sprite. Well, you can see it on this. I haven't screwed that into it yet. Really good for cleaning the screen. And your cell phone, I guess, and stuff. A few things like that. But I can take that off because somebody bought it for me. Yeah, with these cable, I forget what I hooked up. And I hooked up regular networking cable that I've been using, and it would not work. And somebody, I forget which one of you, somebody said, oh, okay, you need, and I ordered, a couple in. I really didn't think that it would probably, I need Coke. And I just woke up and I don't have any pants on. Hang on a second, I've got to get a Coke. Don't touch the mouse. Okay, I'm back. It really worked. So it's got something to do with, I don't know, higher transmission rate, or I'm not sure exactly why, but somebody, can't remember his name now. Well, I can't, don't feel bad. And I know, I can't remember my own name. So. I do want, if I have enough time around, I'm 82, I do want to play with, I want to make some YouTube videos using an Apple iPad. And I watched about 5, 6, 7 YouTubes just within the last couple weeks or whatever of oh, you can't see it. Of people who are using an Apple iPad to make YouTube videos. And I don't really know much about Apple computers. I really, for all these years, I followed them. I watched Twit TV, mainly Windows Weekly, by the way. But I do want to do it because of the ease with doing the people who I watched the YouTube videos. I can't remember how many, but there were. I mean, I wondered, several of them used the camera on the Apple iPad, and they got perfectly good, video doing that. I think there was one guy who didn't like the placement of the camera on the iPad, and so he hooked up, which you can do, an external, and I've got the cameras, here. He hooked up an external, camera and did that. What I also like about the thing, the ease with you can, when you're using the Apple iPad for that, if I were using it now, I could pop up over here, what you're, easily, what you're seeing here, let's see, would be in a, easily, well, no, it'd be in the small area, or I could be showing something else and I could have easily my, which I can do, here, but, have my picture, it could be at there and other stuff. And then there's just a whole bunch of stuff that you can do, text and all that kind of stuff, easily just pulling in there. Now I'd have to learn a little bit, or more than a little bit, and you know how stupid I am. So I do want to go to an Apple iPad when I can afford it. Right now I can't afford it. I've got some expenses coming up, like cataract surgery next month, 2 of them, and stuff like that. Now I have insurance, because I worked all my life in usually 2 jobs, full-time job and part-time job. Now for 4 years, we were married then, Darlene and I, we had a tropical fish shop. And then for a year, I had a patrol service or whatever. And that was actually, well, the tropical fish shop made enough money we could make it. But there were reasons, that. Now for the patrol service, that was beginning of when there was like Burns, Pinkerton, Wells Fargo, and maybe another two. There weren't a lot of security companies, but I knew because I've been calling on businesses that I would be calling on businesses when I had the I sold advertising to businesses for a while, and then I was calling on, I'd come to, and they'd have their door would have a plywood on it, or the window or whatever, and what happened? Somebody broke in. And when we had the tropical fish shop, 2 times somebody broke in through the basement where we had underneath the veterinarian's hospital. And they came in, they didn't touch any of our stuff. They went up the stairs and, to get drugs or something. So I knew that, hey, the security business is something to be. So I started a patrol service. And it was doing okay. And I signed them up, the customers up, myself. So I patrolled at night, and I've talked about that. And about I don't even want to talk about that. A couple that got, I don't want to talk about that. Well, let me just mention, since you'll think I killed somebody or something. I called on this liquor store when I had the patrol service, and a man and woman worked there in the liquor store. It was a bad location because it was at a junction of highways, interstate highways, and you ramp, and you're on the interstate highway, and you go, this way, you go this way, you go that way. And it was right there. That location, that corner, before they put in the 435 and I-70 and whatever, um, there was uh, a number of businesses there on the corner. Well, also there weren't the expressways, to make a fast getaway. But it ended up there was just this one liquor store right at that location. Oh, that location. Uh, Darlene's parents, her dad, mainly, all his life he owned a bar in Iowa for a while, and then when he moved to the Kansas City area, he had it. When I married Darlene, he had his business there, and for quite a few years later, he had the business. Um, then he died of cancer, and then his wife sort of ran the bar, and then she sold it. And then the highways were coming through, and the bar had to be moved, and the people who had bought it from Darlene's mother, the name and the fact that it had been there, so it just moved a little further down in that area, and the customers followed. But so anyway, there was just this liquor store there, right where these ways to get away were, and so I went in like 7 p.m. or something like that, in uniform, and with a car it wasn't a car that looked like a police car. It was a station wagon. It had merchant security, logo on it or whatever. I went in, and I was only signing up people in a small area, so that not like the other. I worked for Watchman Service for a while, and I patrolled a major. I don't know how. I don't know what the population. They had me right away patrolling. This is before I started my service. Overland Park, Kansas. I don't know. 200,000 people. I'm not sure what the population was, except one person, me, patrolling, and they had the salesman that went out and signed up. He'd sign up anybody. And so he signed up, okay, well, you need to be at this nursing home or medical place or whatever it was. It wasn't a hospital. Okay, you need to be there, at 9 p.m. or whatever it was. Twice a day I had to be there at a certain time. And then there were some other places. He signed up a tavern, which you really shouldn't sign up a tavern for, And so I had to go in there at 2 a.m. in the morning. I had to be there at 2 a.m. in the morning because the state law, taverns have to close at 2 a.m. Can't be open past that. And I had to go in and make sure that the people left. And so I don't know what happened to the guy that I took over for, but the lieutenant or whatever, who was an asshole, maybe he was a captain, he could make him whatever he wanted to be. He said, okay, now when you go in there, be sure you take your nightstick in there with you. And so he didn't, then nobody went with me or anything, nobody went with me or showed me any of the places. I had a list of the counts that I had. Nobody went with me, not even for a short ride, nothing, So anyway, I went into the, pulled up, and I thought, okay, let's see which one. Olathe, I think it was the Olathe Air Base, Naval Air Station there. Yeah. And I thought, this place is going to be filled with, Navy men and especially Marines probably. And I thought, no, I'm not taking in this nightstick. One of those guys is going to shove it up my ass. So I went on in every night, and like the first, when I went in first, and I didn't take in my nightstick. I went in, and place was crowded. Everybody was having a good time. And looks like this is going to be a long video. But I don't think I want to do the preview thing. I can do the preview thing, and yeah, I can do the preview thing, and I can turn off the thing so you can't donate. I'll do that, and go ahead and that way we'll have an hour-long preview that you can actually chat and we can talk about. Anyway, I went in and the bartender announced, "Okay, it's 2 a.m. Final drink, or that's it. You have to leave or whatever." Nobody left. And then a Marine came over to me and said, "I'm not planning on leaving here. I'm having too much fun," or something like that. And I said, "Well, it sounds like I'm not going to," I forget exactly what I said, something, I can't remember exactly, but I probably said something like, "Well, sounds like I'm not going to have a good time because you have to leave. The bar is closing and you're going to have to leave, and it's my job to make sure you leave. So," and what I started doing was when somebody would get up to go to the bathroom, or somebody would they'd get out of their chair. They were getting out of their chairs quite, whatever. I'd just take their chair and I would just turn it upside down, put it on the table. And then the Marine who had told me that he was not going to leave, he came over and he said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Jim." And he said, "Okay, my name's, let's say Bob. My name's Bob. Have a good evening." And I said, "Okay, same to you." And he left. I never had I never had to fight anybody there. Never had a problem. In my 30 years of hospital security, of course, a lot of times I had backup, other security officers and stuff. I had to fight a lot of people, restrain them or whatever. Not all of them were bad people. Maybe I shouldn't say fight. Some of them they got an operation, or they got a medication, or got something. They were good people, and had a reaction to it, and we had to hold them down or something. Had one guy that I didn't. They opened up a hospital right out where I lived, small town, and the director of security at the main hospital, he didn't like me. Wonder why. Yeah, I never took any crap off it. Now, when I worked as a Boilermaker and as a welder, I'm building trucks and stuff like that, I never had any fights with anybody, never had any problem with anybody. I just went in and did my job, had my hood down underneath the railroad cars and well. But when I started working hospital security, it would have been a security any place, Anyway, the director of security of that hospital didn't like me, and he was wrong. Well, he was a fucked up guy, racist, unbelievably, and he did. Anyway, I've talked about that before in length. So, but anyway, the hospital this hospital was building. Eventually, they built the hospital out there where I lived, and then that hospital eventually took over just about every hospital in Kansas City, Missouri. It was a for-profit hospital, took over the hospital after they had acquired these, and then they owned all these hospitals. But anyway, got sidetracked. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, let's go back to that liquor store located at that's what, I've mentioned that before. I feel bad about it. There was nothing I could do. But I just feel bad, and, if I think about it, I feel bad about it. Anyway, I went into the liquor store that was right next to where my father-in-law's place used to be. I never went into I don't drink. I never went into my father-in-law's tavern ever. My parents did, regular customers. Anyway, I went into this liquor store and went in, and of course they could see me in uniform and everything. And then, that, you know, I told them why I was there, and they said, "Oh, our boss is, the owner isn't here. Now he won't be here till about 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. Could you come back? We want the service. We don't feel comfortable working here alone, and it's dark outside. There weren't any street lights out there or whatever. It couldn't have been a worse location." And so I went back, went in, and right away, I'm not sure if they told him, but as soon as I went in, "Don't need your service, don't want your service." And so then I knew those people were there, not saying anything, but I knew they were there, so normally I'd have just said, okay, but I did a pitch, I did the thing, whatever, hey, I can't guarantee that at closing time because I have other places I need to check, and I can't be sitting at the same place every night, but I will make every attempt to, patrol this place, and I'll make every attempt I can to be here, or to be, so nobody's going to, if they're watching the place, they're not going to know, is he going to be here tonight or whatever. I did my pitch, and he was arrogant, no, we don't need the service or whatever, so I left. About a week later, the Kansas City, Missouri police officer, they closed, the place was supposed to close at like 2 a.m. or something. And at about 5 or 6 a.m., before the midnight shift, Kansas City, Missouri police officer was going off duty. He made a check of the liquor store and found the door unlocked and nobody there. And they found the couple's bodies actually out where I lived, further on, and down a road a piece. Found their bodies. And then I saw on TV when they were reporting it, a cameraman or whatever, went around, and there was a little tiny sticker for some security patrol service like mine. There was a sticker there, so that guy had paid. Probably those people maybe never showed, I don't know. But I feel bad about that, but there wasn't anything I could do. I thought later on, after that happened, I thought, why didn't I just say, I think he would still have said no. I think what I wish what I had said is, okay, sir, let me patrol your place for a month, and then ask you if you don't have to pay me. I'll patrol it for a month, and in a month's time, then I'll come in and ask you again, and I didn't do that. Anyway, so the patrol service became the tropical, no, wait a minute. No, that was after the Tropical Fish Shop for 4 years. The Tropical Fish Shop, too, we were making it okay. Darlene, she had tropical fish, and she took care of the ordering. I did all the work, physical work, and the selling. She wasn't in a wheelchair then, but she was on crutches. Although she could without crutches, because she had polio when she was 5. Without the crutches, she could, make it across the room and then hold onto the wall or something. Right? So I did we were open. There for a while we were closed one day, Sunday or something. But we were basically open 7 days a week. And I did everything. That's when LaDonna, my oldest, was born. Darlene and I had been married about a year. Anyway, in the morning, for the first 3 years or whatever, we lived in the back of the Tropical Fish shop. I take that back. No, I bought a brand new, when I got married, I bought a band. I had been working, I was 26. I'd been saving my money. I didn't have a computer then. I wouldn't have saved any money, but I've been saving my money. Oh, and living with my parents. Uh, um, Pretty easy to, well, of course I gave him some money. But, so we lived, okay, so then when LaDonna came along, and too with Darlene, I had explained to her the advantages and disadvantages and whatever. I said, but I can pay cash for it and whatever. And now, can you? And I took her to when I took her to the mobile home places, these are new mobile homes, because of her trouble getting up. She'd have trouble getting up the kind of little metal things they sat there, whatever. I took her to the ones that I could afford, which were new and nice. And she agreed. And then when LaDonna was born, that was her excuse. I just don't feel comfortable, with tornado season and that type of stuff. And so we moved into the back of an aquarium. And for 4 years, that's where we lived. Anyway, so at the aquarium, we lived in, the back of it. And LaDonna, our firstborn, I'd pick her up, and take her and let her turn the sign over that said, closed to open. And then at night, I'd let her turn it over. And then I'd go and I'd bend down sometimes and let her turn on the lights on the tanks. And at that point, she was so young, I forget how she'd say it cute, fishes, or I can't remember how she did it. She'd say, fishes, whatever, like that. That was cute. And then, I'd carry her at time to close up. Finally, now we could have kept that place because it was making money. I was paying income tax. I got into it with the IRS, by the way. Because the first year, I did it every year, but I did the income tax, and I shouldn't have been doing income tax. Doing our own income tax, and so I got I got a letter that I was being audited. That was like 3 years or something, and got audited, or they did audit me. Yeah, they contacted me. And what was the name of the company? Ford. What was the one that went out of business? American Motors? What was it? They lost money for 10 or 20 years. They never made any money. And then about that time, they made money. But they didn't have to pay any money because they'd lost money for so many years that carried over, and they didn't have to pay. And I got a call, from the IRS, and I said, I forget what I said, but anyway, I said, hey. Oh, the guy said, you can't lose money. See, we had the tropical fish shop for 4 years. And I guess we didn't pay money. I know we didn't pay money well, we did, actually. No, we didn't. But it looked like that. Anyway, the guy said, the Internal Revenue guy, I said, well, I tell you, I just saw on the news that American Motors, that was it, I think, American Motors, they lost money for 20 years, and they just made some money for the first time, and the government says they don't have to pay income tax because that's a carryover from all the money they lost, and they're actually going to get money for some reason. And he said, I forget what he said, And I said, well, I work 7 days a week. And I said, so you can just come out and audit me because I don't have time to come down to the IRS. I'm sure you went out to, American Motors. I'm sure they didn't show up in your office. And he said, "Okay, Mr. Howard, yeah, we'll come out and audit you out there, but you're going to have to produce every receipt for every sale you've made. You've got to do this and do that." And I said, "What was it?" I said, "I don't appreciate the threats." I said, you've got the information. You see how much I'm making or not making." And I said, "I'll come down and to your offices." So I went down there, and the guy actually was nice. Of course, I went in nice too, but I mean, I'm sure they probably have box checked. This guy's an asshole, or something. Probably it's a box there someplace. This guy's an asshole, and I was. Well, so I he had my foreman. He said, "Well, the reason we called you down here is you said that you had X amount of, fish and fish food and all that kind of, you sold that, and other gravel, and I know it says." And he says, "But your inventory is here, and no, okay, I shouldn't do it, is there, and this is what you have in stock available now. What happened to this stuff up here that you don't have anymore?" And I said, um, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, that money that I claimed as inventory, that I put on there as inventory or whatever, that was the computer stands that the fish tanks were on. That was the pumps that were running them, all that." He said, "That's not inventory, Mr. Howard. That's whatever they call it." And he said, "You shouldn't have listed that as that. You should have listed that as, whatever." And he said, "So you don't owe any taxes." And I said, "Okay, thank you." So when I was rambling on here, but it's coming up, I'm going to stop here in 8 minutes, and then I'm going to try to find something to eat and then stretch my legs. And at some point here, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the preview thing, which I just found out about a few days ago. I mean, I saw it, YouTube said, "Hey, there's an inventory," or not an inventory, thing you can do. And I didn't know that there was a chat. I should have. Why else would, And I also didn't know you could make donations or whatever. But anyway, I'll come back here in a little bit, and I'll upload this, and then I'm going to mark it for preview or whatever, and then we can talk back and forth, whoever wants to, in chat. And I'm going to turn off, I won't forget to do it, I'm going to turn off the thing so nobody can make a donation. At some point I'm going to turn it back on, because if anybody needs money, I need money. But I'm going to turn it off because I think 3 or 4 people, twice in a row or something, donated a small amount of money. And so I'm going to leave it off until I feel better about doing it, and until I feel like the content is worth it. Maybe I'll get better doing this, and maybe I'll think, hey, this is, and whatever. So now, on my site, there are places where you can donate if you want to donate. One is to PayPal, and that goes right into my PayPal account. Actually, I think there's 2 to PayPal. I think ways you can do it. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So I have the thing, so you don't have to worry about hanging around or coming in and doing the preview thing, because not going to ask you for money. It doesn't ask you anyway. It just makes it available for you to do it. So PayPal, you can do it, and bang, it's right in my account right away. And I could always use some money in my account for emergencies. And then also, I do want to get that iPad, and I'll be able to get the cables that I need, which are what on my list there. I can get those. I hope they'll work because I've got some cables. I could show that to you. Hang on a second. Don't touch the mouse. I can show you some of the cables I'm talking about. Okay, I am back. Let's see here. And it's a good thing I went to, like I said, I can't remember his name. My memory's not good. Never has been good. Anyway, the guy told me about the cables because I hooked up different monitors or whatever. Can't remember now. And no video. And so he said, okay, what you need is, and he told me. And I think what I did right away, I think that if I remember correctly, and I probably don't, that micro, it was, should have been, one end here is, regular HDMI, and it's 4K. This one was 4K at 60 hertz, but it's micro. And I think I might have ordered in. They came like that same day or the next day or something, so it wasn't a disaster. But so here's the one. I don't think they have their name on it that I. Really liked, that worked out. Well, I think the problem with this one is too short. Actually, I think I could hook up one monitor, but it wasn't long enough. I didn't have one long enough to get to the second monitor. And now this one was 4K, I believe, which worked fine. And this is 8K. Okay, where are my 16K? I don't know where they are. Maybe I didn't have 16K. I think I did. And maybe they were too short. That might be. Anyway. Are we at the end? Yeah, coming up here at the end. So I'm going to... seems like I need to end on something. Well, I'm looking forward, I'll end on this, looking forward to getting to actually chat with you people, and you can be watching the video and trying to think if there's something that I mentioned during this where you need to jump in there and say, Jim, how stupid are you? All you have to do is such and such, or, maybe you shouldn't do that. I'm all scraped up here from falling in the parking lot. Maybe, I'm going to shave too. Of course, I like to be shaved. I'd like hair too, but not on my face. Anyway, try to use all of you, whoever's watching, try to use my Amazon link. It doesn't cost you anything when you see it. And two, the link, maybe you could even bookmark it or put it on your desktop as an icon or something like that. And Amazon pays like 1 to 3%, and that we saw. I showed you almost for a year. I'm not getting any money, but there was 1 month, and I think it was just before Christmas. I think I got like $79. It came around Christmas time because people were using, just happened to be using the link or whatever. But I don't know if you can hear my stomach growling or not. I've got at least two headsets with the good microphones on it, and I've got I think 3 of these. So I think I told you, I like to spend money. The ex-wife doesn't. Even though we're not married, she still gives me hell, about it, spending too much money. There is actually, we're not married. We've been divorced for like 40 years. There's a couple of times I've gone out, she's like, in a wheelchair or in bed. She's in bed, then she's in a wheelchair to do some little chores that she does, and plays games, whatever. But there's actually, don't tell anybody this. This is embarrassing. There's a few times I knew I tell you one thing, that Samsung battery is sure good on its. I'm using the oh, it's over here on the charger, I think. Yeah, it's over here on the charger. I'm using the Motorola stylus, and it's the 2022 version. And when I bought it, I bought I think 3 of these things, by the way, one at a time. Why? I didn't break them, or they don't have a scratch on them or anything like that. I think I gave one to my son. He lost it. My grown son, he lost it, or I don't know. I don't even want to know. So, anyway, it's 1 hour. So, let's see what happens. There's something down here in the corner that says upcoming earnings. I hope that's I haven't bought a lottery ticket in years and years and years. I did, by the way, before COVID came through, my daughter Hillary and myself, we were going to a casino over in Oklahoma, about an hour drive, and I do enjoy the casinos. But anyway, thank you for watching, and get ready for preview coming up here soon. Damn, that message disappeared about how I'm rich. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.